Hello, hello, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Hello, everybody. Hi, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another lesson with RODGON. I'm an artist, I'm a designer, I'm a teacher, I'm a mentor, and today we get to draw some cool stuff together. Yesterday, we had a blast. We had an absolute blast drawing eyes. We went ahead and we explained how to draw the eye with 4 circles and one overlapping line. 5 circles. 5 circles and one overlapping line give you eyeballs. And I was just showing examples of what happens when you actually draw them, how to properly see them, and eventually we broke them down into 2 lines. We broke it down into one curvy line that covers the top and one curvy line that covers the bottom. One that's thicker, one that's thinner. And by changing it, you can change the expressions. Then we went into basic mapping theory, and we went into how we can actually make a skull out of a circle. And then how to use that to be able to understand where all our features go, regardless of the styling that you choose for your characters. I gave you guys various examples of how you can use this method to be able to draw down, up, sideways, left, right, connected to the body, and everything in between. That was a fun stream, and then we also transitioned into another page. We did more about how to draw that and using that to draw animals. How to use that to draw things like alligators, birds, wolves, and then we transitioned to dinosaurs, a Mickey Mouse version, and just played around a little bit with style. Right? Then we just finished off the page by doing some examples of eyes in the bottom and some body poses. And that was a successful stream. That was kind of cool. I really enjoyed that one. That one should be on YouTube tomorrow. I have scheduled it for tomorrow. So that one will be on YouTube tomorrow, and we get to have that knowledge open to the public and everybody. So yay! All right, so let's move on to our lesson for today. What should we learn today? Hopefully I don't get interrupted by annoying construction people, but I have a feeling I'm going to because we sued them yesterday. And now they are in panic mode. Noses is a good one. Noses is an easy one. Noses essentially are just pyramid. So if you ever pay attention to my drawing method, you'll see that I draw a line in the middle of my face, and then I draw a triangle on it. That triangle is going to give me access to 2 little pockets if I just follow those lines. Right? By the spacing in between them, that ends up being like a little hourglass, ends up being that's the spacing in between your eyebrows. So if you space that out, you have yourself eyebrows. This is the top of the nose bridge. If you follow the nose and you just connect it to the bottom, you end up with the nose. And then if you follow those triangle lines down, you end up with a mouth space. So you can use this as your teeth line, or you can use that as your muzzle. At the eyebrow, you draw a circle that matches your cheekbone, and then you have yourself the side of your face. If you split this where the triangle hits, you have yourself 2 planes for your shadows. And you can also use that plane to draw 2 dots. Draw curvy line number 1, curvy line number 2, and you have yourself a perfect mapping point for eyes. Oh, you want angled eyes? Okay, just angle that line. So that is the beauty of my method. My method allows you to modify any of these things at will, and it's all connecting points. So it's just really easy to figure out where the next thing goes. This is anatomy. This is anatomy. The face is human anatomy. It's not, the body is not anatomy itself. It's The entire body is anatomy. So I am teaching you anatomy. Side profile with chests. I can do that. Side profile with chest. So the chest itself, if you look at it from the front, it's like an egg. Right? And if you draw a little circle at the top of the egg, you can split it and it starts looking kind of like a ribcage. From here, if you draw a little cylinder, you have access to a head and the jaw immediately. And then from there, from the middle of your ribcage and the back of your ribcage, you're going to draw two little compass arms. These are your collarbone. This is what's going to lead to where your arm comes out. And then you draw the volume back into the body. Boom, boom. So you draw the outside edge of your arm, and then you bring the volume inside. Boom, boom, boom. And you have yourself arms and the connecting points with your pectorals. So if you guys are enjoying what I'm doing, make sure to hit that heart button. Lately, we have been severely lacking on this. It seems like the only support is going only one way. I need your guys' support to be able to reach more people. So I need you to help me by hitting that little heart button. That's all you need to do for me. You don't need to do nothing else. All I have to do is watch, learn, draw. And if you do learn something, if you learn something and you want to pay back the favor, go sign up to my YouTube. So that way you have access to all that knowledge and many, many videos. Not like a handful of videos. There's over 400 now. Easily over 400 videos because I've been doing this for like 7 years. So if you guys go and you guys learn, then you guys can improve. Easy ways to remember body structure. Yeah, that's easy. The human structure can be built into 2 shapes. Fucking A, I told you. I fucking told you. Told you. That's it. Alright, you gotta put you away, Snitch. You're 2 years of a beast. You have to be there. You know full well why. Because you're a little happy machine and you start tackling. Sit down. All right. So, almost like clockwork, I told you guys they would interrupt me. They would interrupt me, and they are annoying as fuck every single time. Anyways, let's go down. If we're gonna go down a human body, and we have a head, what we need to find is the ear. If we find the ear on both sides, then that bottom part of the ear not only connects to the jaw, and it goes around, but it also connects to the neck. And the neck goes straight down mostly into an angled circle. The circle comes from drawing an egg and drawing a little circle at the top. The middle of the rib cage is going to be the middle of that circle. If you decide to draw that middle of that circle somewhere else, that turns the body a little bit. Okay? But for now, we'll just leave that right there. This is just an indicator just to show you the middle of the ribcage. It's not like anything important. Then from here, the front and the direct opposite, which is the back, are going to elongate your collarbone. Now, your collarbone is that bone that you have in the front of your body that directs where your shoulder is going to go. It also gives you your back muscle. Okay, so doing a little compass simplifies that process a lot. From there, you get the shoulder point. Now, this is the outside edge of your shoulder. Wherever you draw this, that is the outside edge. Imagine the silhouette of your shoulder. Okay? Imagine that you have a stick figure coming out from there and coming in. Wow. And then any volume that you decide to give is going to be between here and the rib cage. This is the width of this arm. This is the width of that arm. The spacing that you have is what's going to dictate how you draw that muscle. Your shoulders connect to this guideline in the form of one in the front, one in the back, one for length, and you just go around and around. And now you have your shoulder. Your pectoral comes from this point down to the middle of your rib cage, wherever you want to draw it, and it connects and it overlaps over the shoulder. And then your bicep comes in underneath those two muscles, and it connects outside of your body. Then you have your body, like your muscles underneath, and then you have your abs right here. Pásale, pásale. This area for your forearm, kind of, it's like a snake biting your bicep. Or like a fishy or something biting your bicep, and that's how you get that. Into your palm that has your thumb and your fingers. And those thumbs and fingers can go in any direction you want, depending on what type of expression you want to do. Fishy eating a bicep. Shoulder, 3 points. Bicep. So now the reason that I like this is because I like doing this whenever I'm bending my arm. It's bicep. I just like to do two overlapping lines with the outside edge. Remember, because that's the one that connects to the end of that little compass, right? The outside edge of your arm. And then you get inside volume. Outside edge, if you bend your arm like this, you have to do two sections. You got to do inside volume for this one, and then you do inside volume for this one to create an overlapping shape. If you want to create things in perspective, once you have that connecting point at an angle, well, now you have a circle. Now I can just make these bigger or smaller, depending on what I want to get. And now I have access to foreshortening. I can move this back, I can move this forward. Mustache, stop. Can you show how to draw bodies with sushis? Yeah. I have made a full body sushi, by the way. I have learned to do a full body sushi. It's essentially this. This has been my full body sushi now. This gives me connecting points. It gives me my rib cage. And it gives me my holes for my arms. So I have learned to just draw the body in this little silly position, and it gives me everything that I need from my poses. Wow. Of course, it's a very rudimentary way of seeing it, but if you learn those very basic premises, it becomes really easy to pose. Any arm is going to come over the top of the rib cage. Ta-da! Right? And they come out from the sides, connecting to the body. Ta-da! Leave a little space in between, and you have your space for your head. Ta-da! Ta-da! Choo-doo-choo, crisscross applesauce. So, if you learn how to draw it like that, then you start adding anatomy to it, right? You have your arms, and then you can start adding your compass, your shoulders, your biceps, and everything along those lines. And you can add all the anatomy you want to this very basic structure that teaches you simplicity and flow. So, if you take a basic circle, divide it into 4, and get the curves right by drawing the lines as circles, not just crosses, you end up with quadrants. Those quadrants can be done into very basic semblances of like chibi bodies. Right? Just draw a little horn coming out of each one of those, and you have yourself a little chibi body. Little chibi bodies are very useful when it comes down to drawing little cute things, because you just divide something in 4, and you give yourself a nice little body. And now you have little chibi bodies. But not just that, you can modify these to be in different poses that are very appealing, right? Because it's really simple. The characters themselves are incredibly simple, so you can pose these in a bunch of really cute, like interesting ways, and then present them with whatever characters you're in. So learning how to draw cute things doesn't have to require you like having a ridiculous amount of knowledge. It's just about learning how things are structured. So that's really cool. So knowing that can lead you to this. Learning how to just make into like a little egg can help you understand how a human body works a lot better. Knowing that the rib cage is an egg, and these are just 2 little holes connecting, you can start playing around with style. You can start playing around with movement. Don't be afraid to overlap your shapes, because overlapping your shapes is what gives you depth. And learning that the outside edge into inside volume line, that sounds silly. It sounds so silly, but that is essentially what teaches you how to draw properly cool body parts. It's learning the outside contour of your arm and then figuring out which direction the volume goes in. So that is one very important component. Shoulders that go around, over, they go over from that point, still over, and then volume inside. And that becomes a lot easier to control than normally it is to draw body parts and poses. Control the outside, measure the inside. And it's going to take a while. You might draw some wonky stuff once in a while, but it's going to be a lot more consistent than if you didn't. So, whatever body shape you choose, all you have to do is draw an egg inside, connected to the edges, and now you have a collarbone and a neck space. Draw yourself 2 little circles at an angle from the sides, and now you have some legs. You already know that your arm comes out from theirs, and it goes over your shoulders, so as long as you draw like that, and you can bring out body back in. Overlap some lines and create some personality. Are there good practice exercises you recommend? Yeah, there's a lot of them. One of them is going to be the very basic exercise of drawing a circle and then drawing a circle inside of that circle. Why is this important? Because this gives you a ton of info. This isn't just like a couple lines. This is surface area. This is also a way to understand the front and the back of your shape, right? So if you're drawing like a rib cage, you're drawing the front and the back. So you're drawing your spine and that measurement in the front. So you have access to a lot of information really quickly. Learning how to draw through your shape is also how you find the ears and the jaw a lot easier, right? You need that to be able to understand how your head structures are built. If you want to learn how to draw your arms better, you need to learn how to draw through your shape. So sometimes it requires being able to see through your shape because the body position calls for it. Okay? So understanding that aspect of things comes from understanding how to see through your shape, and that is involving a lot of circles. Drawing how to draw tails and stuff like that for animals is easy if you learn how to draw through your shape, and then you just draw the elements coming out of there. Wings, stuff like that are behind, tend to be a million times easier to draw if you actually understand how to draw through your shape. How to draw realistic eyes? Well, you need to go out and understand anatomy and lighting and shadows to be able to draw realistic eyes. Hyper-realistic. Realism comes from observation and understanding basic premises of chiaroscuro and contrapposta and all that nonsense. But I like to draw it really simply by drawing a thick line that's stylized, a thinner line that's intersecting it like this, using that intersection to draw my tear duct, and I draw whatever style of eye I want. From there, I can add more details like eyelashes and eyebrows and shadows and color and all that stuff. But in all reality, that's essentially what it is. It's just a thick line, one thick line, and then a thinner line that's intersecting. And you end up having a semblance of really cool eyes. You just need to learn a little bit more about anatomy to be able to make them into more realistic ones. Can you do lips? Lips are very similar. Lips, if you find this shape, just add volume to the top lip, volume to the bottom lip, and you have yourself lips. One curvy line, one intersecting bottom line, volume. Lips are easy. Curvy line, volume for my lips, Boom, boom. You don't want them as open? Cool. You want them really open? Okay, cool. It's, it looks weird when you try it. You just need practice. So you can do that. You can do that, or you can bring the volume inside and create little pucker lips. And the way that I would apply to an actual face would be like this. Pase. Have trouble with cartoon eyes. Well, cartoon eyes come from drawing a shape and then drawing a couple circles inside. Like, cartoon eyes don't really have any rigor, and you just have to draw a shape and then draw a couple circles. Draw a shape and then draw circles inside. Now, darkening the top line gives you the effect of it being a little bit cooler. So all you gotta do is darken that top line a little bit, and then you have yourself more dynamic eyes. How do you have yourself set up for filming? I have a tripod with my phone point. Okay, I'll draw it right here. So I have my sketchbook. I have a light source 45 degrees from where I'm filming, so that whenever my hand is on the paper, the shadow is underneath that. Right? So you can't see the shadow from that direction. You can see it a little bit because it's not perfect. I don't have my studio set up right now. But then I have my phone over this on a separate surface being held up by a little storm. The reason for that is that you need a different surface so that it's not constantly shaking whenever you're actually drawing. When you're drawing, even if it's the most sturdy surface, it's going to jiggle it. So you need to have it on a different surface so that it doesn't jiggle. So 45-degree angle light, your phone pretty much over your drawing surface area, and then you just kind of have to peek around it. And that's how I film. What do you do for a living? I do this. I get to do this for a living because I set up my life to be able to do this for a living. So I get to draw, and I get to doodle, and I get to teach, and I get to mentor, and I get to guide, and I get to inspire people. And that is my job. That has become my job, and it's quite awesome because it's come with a lot of possibilities, a lot of probabilities of success. And it seems like a lot of people are more than happy to be willing to be a part of what I'm doing. And it's amazing. Like, people just want to be a part of what I do, and I'm not really sure how to take that yet. But I will eventually figure out how to actually maneuver around this whole feeling like I'm not worthy of all this stuff. And eventually I'll settle into feeling like I am the person that I am. The therapist keeps on telling me this thing called imposter syndrome, and I have it bad because I see myself like this little pawn, and I have like stadium-sized amounts of people watching me every day, but I still feel like this little tiny fish in the pond. What school did you go to? How would you draw from a... What? I heard something. What are your favorite features to draw? My favorite features to draw are probably the faces. It is becoming the bodies, though. It's becoming the bodies because I'm able to like now continuously draw the body in very awesome places without really requiring much knowledge. So understanding just this much to me is enough for me to go off and draw a pose, because I have drawn these guidelines maybe a couple thousand times already. So drawing things going in different directions, different angles, different things becomes actually relatively easy. Volume inside. And I can start having fun with stylization and storyline development, as opposed to always just thinking about how I'm supposed to be drawing something. Because that's the one thing that normally gets people the most, like not knowing how to take it to the next level, how to like pose it right. It looks stiff and stuff like that. All right, any other questions? Why do I keep coming late? The nose. Well, we talked a little bit about the nose, but not too much. The nose in itself is going to come out of the middle of your face, right? And you're going to draw a triangle as a base for your nose. Now, you'll see that the triangle is divided into two parts, right? It's two little thinner triangles. You have one midline at the bottom and at the top of this. If you draw that and then you consider that your mid of your face, all you have to do is draw the profile of your nose connecting from one to the other, right? And then you figure out a little bit of depth on both sides. That triangle is going to give you a nice little guideline into your nose bridge, because it gives you the spacing in between your eyebrows by just following it up. And then the top of that triangle, that's where your eye sits. So you don't have to guess where anything goes. You already have an idea and a guide that takes you to the next thing. The triangle up takes you to your eyebrows. The eyebrow takes you to the side of your face. The side of your face takes you to your cheekbones, and then that little triangle line at the top divides your eye, so you can do it in simple 2-dot process. That triangle down line takes you to your mouth space, and then you can draw your mouth, regardless of what type of mouth you want to do. This division is where that little crevice happens, where you get that division from your cheekbone. That's right in the middle of that triangle. Right in the matz-divil of that triangle. So you have your face, your triangle. That middle of the triangle is the division where that little crevice goes. So once you understand that, you start seeing the faces a little bit easier. That's your midline for your eyes. So you can draw your eyes on that. Eyebrows go on that. Your face, your mouth space is right here. So you can just... And then your ear and your neck connect to your body. So that is how I draw faces. That is how I apply it to my bodies. That is how I see heads in general, right? I always draw my triangle, guide, side, split, connect. And I have myself a almost perfect skeletal system every single time, because it's easy. And it's not complicated, and it tells you everything where everything's supposed to go. So, yeah. Sabrina, he used to draw this lady called Vicky. Oh, I still do. I draw Vicky all the time. Vicky is just my, she's my go-to pinup, man. She will forever be ingrained into my drawing vocabulary. She inspired a whole book of pinups. That woman is, even if I'm not her partner, in romantic life, she's still my friend. And she's still somebody that inspires me every day because she's fucking awesome. She's based on a real person. So it's just, yeah. So I draw her all the time still. It's not going to stop. I'm tired of having to change my characters up because I break up with someone. I used to have a character called Mary, which was based on my girlfriend, Marianne. And she was a cosplay model and she was a tattoo artist and stuff like that. And then I had to stop drawing her because I felt I don't know, I had to for some reason. And I didn't have to. It just made me remember them. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, when I stopped thinking and I stopped caring about, maybe just because I'm drawing somebody based on an X, it's just a personality type. It's not necessarily like me wanting them back or anything. It's just a matter of I created something based on them that was really cute and pretty, and now I can't use it because my brain is letting me know, but I have to go back to actually being able to do so. So regardless of the woman that inspired my pinup, my pose, whatever, I want to retain control of that so that I can actually be happy with what I'm doing, as opposed to feeling like I'm just feeling like emotions back from them, which I don't. Well, I don't know. Vicky's still. It's still soon. It's recent. We just broke up a little bit ago, so that's still kind of fresh. But I know I don't want Marianne back. When she left, it was a little bit, I think, good for both of us, because I think we both wanted things out of the other person that the other person was unwilling to do or unwilling to change, and I was the only one doing change, and that just drove me nuts. What pen do I use? I use a round stick medium point Bic pen. Tell the difference between male and... Okay, we already established that yesterday, I think. Where is it? Where was it? Oh, man, I don't want to have to do it again. I don't care if I have to do it again, honestly. But if I already had it... Well, anyways. If you want to have a big masculine face and a big, soft, little feminine face, start the same way. Right? And then just give this guy, the guy, a sharper, stronger jaw. And then keep the nice, soft jaw for the woman. And that is going to give you a more feminine or masculine feel. Soft edges gives you feminine. Hard edges give you masculine. So soft, curvy gives you a more feminine approach. Blocky and bulky give you a more masculine approach. A toddler, huh? Well, unfortunately, I believe we might be done with our lesson today. I need to call it a day early today because I need to go get the things done. So I need to start preparing, and I have to prepare around these people in the construction. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go for now. I hope you guys had a nice little morning doodle session, though. I can't deal with this sound. Like, it's so annoying to have to fucking work with this shit. Like, it's just so annoying. So I am so sorry that, like, the last month or so I haven't been able to give a proper lesson without interruptions. But hope you guys learned a little bit. So sorry for the spooky ghost like sounds from the vents being open. Have a lovely, lovely Saturday, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another lesson. All right? Later, Gators. Woohoo!